Three up front? Let's check it out. This is one that the name alone just kind of got me when I looked on the Steam Workshop. Baianolandia 433 version 1 triplete. It is by a maker called Fra28, XXVIII. So that's who the creator is. All props to him. He doesn't have a lot of information on it. He has a single screenshot on the Steam Workshop. Looks like he was playing with Napoli. Victories obtained with this tactic. Serie A 23, 24, 25, UEFA Champions League in 25, Coppa Italia 24, 25, and the Supercoppa Italiana in 24, 25. So he's got a ton of trophies with this tactic. So we're going to check it out today. As you can see, it is a sweeper keeper in defend, 2 wingbacks on support, 2 ball playing defenders on defend, a DM in support, Mazzala on the left in support, a Mazzala on the right in support, 2 pressing forwards in attack, and an advanced forward in attack up front. Custom the assembler. Balanced mentality. In possession, you have attacking with the standard. Approach plays pass to space. Underlap on the left and right. Focus play down the left and the right. Shorter passing directness. Tempo is higher. Run at defense and low crosses. In transition, counter press, counter, distribute quickly and roll it out. And then out of possession, a high press line of engagement, a standard defensive line. Trigger press much more often. Prevent short goalkeeper distribution and get stuck in. How did it do for our 3 teams? It actually did fairly well. Tottenham, 81 points in 3rd place. Wolves, 77 points. Absolutely insane. 4th place. Newcastle in 6th with 69. On the higher side of average, a little higher than average generally. But man, Tottenham and Wolves doing a fantastic job here. Tottenham's schedule, it actually isn't a lot different from a lot of tactics we've seen so far. I mean, a loss to Manchester City, a loss to Liverpool, 10-1 winners at home against Shakhtar. That's insane. A loss to Milan, a loss to Southampton. That's it for the first half of the season. Second half, 1 loss all the way through until the end of April. Second loss there. FA Cup semifinals, 0-1 against Man City. Champions League, I mean, I guess EFL Cup, you got winners. No, EFL Cup semifinal second leg, 0-2 to Manchester City after a 3-2 win. So you're out in the cup, you're in both cups. You get to the Champions League final against Real Madrid and 1-2 in extras. It's tough. It is Real Madrid, but that is a tough season right there. But I mean, look at all that green. I can't imagine that you're in 3rd place with all of that green right there. That's crazy. Wolves' schedule has a ton of green itself. A couple more losses, of course, but Newcastle, Manchester United, Tottenham, Man City are the only losses there in the first half of the season. You are out in the EFL Cup quarters against Tottenham. You draw the FA Cup 4th round against Leicester, lose the replay 4-5. That's one you could possibly pick up if you are taking care of the tactic itself. And as I always say, if you do the tactic yourself, this is just a sim. The coaches and staff are doing all the work for me. I'm doing absolutely nothing but simming and vacationing throughout the entire season. If you take control of these teams, make your own transfers, play to the strengths of not only the tactic, but also of the players, you can do a lot better. I mean, but still, these teams are doing fantastic so far. Look at all this from this March, April, May until the last match of the season against Newcastle. A fantastic job. Newcastle having a phenomenal start to the season. 2+ months. Your first loss is that 2-3 match against Tottenham. You lose then Manchester United. You actually have the better first half of the season than any of the other 2 teams. The second half of the season is where it really starts falling apart. Losses to Arsenal, Brentford. You're out in the FA Cup 4th round against Stoke, 1-4. EFL Cup, you do actually squeak it out against Brentford, but lose to Manchester City 1-3 in the EFL Cup final. That second half of the season is really what killed you. There's really no good runs except here in January. Transfers in, Tony, same as always. Weston, Kajioglu, is that how you pronounce it? And Cagliari is one that we haven't seen much, 10.75 million. Outs, the same as always, Tanganga for 11 this time, and Hugo Lloris for 2.5. Wolves, again, doing no business in January whatsoever after Miguel Veloso comes in. And then outs, same as always. Oh, you do have Daniel Podence there for 5.5, so you're getting some money. Douglas Santos for Newcastle, the only one coming in from Zenit, 25.5 million. Seems like the Newcastle owners are being a little bit stingy in the January transfer window, but Mark Gillespie, the only one really out. Squad-wise, Harry Kane, 743. I mean, that is where you want to see Harry Kane. And Kaggioglu is 727. Fantastic pickup, it looks like. Wolves, Raul Jimenez, a 770. Kalajic, 737. 7-2, no, Geddes is already out. But, I mean, that is a fantastic run. Could have gotten a little bit more out of some of these guys, but, I mean, that right there, 7-7-0 is really what picked you up this season, it looks like. And then for Newcastle, you actually have a couple. 7-3 for Callum Wilson, 7-2-9 for Joelinton, 7-3-2 for Miguel Almiron. Isaac not up there, though. 7-17 for Isaac. Overall, I mean, got some really great numbers. Just could have used a few more, it looks like. Data hub-wise, shaky defensively, very good in attack. If you look at all the tactics that we've done, the best attacking ones with the 3 or the 4 or the 5 up front are the ones that really get you up in the table. I mean, even when you're Wolves who are not doing too bad, you're not sitting outside of, relegation where you often see them in a lot of these lower tactics with, a 4-3-3 or a 4-4-2 or something like that. But, I mean, look at these attacking numbers. Defensively, yeah, you're not going to be that good. But, I mean, as long as you can go forward and attack, these numbers really speak for themselves when you're looking at tactics and how far a Tottenham team should be able to go and how far they actually went in the save itself. But it all depends on how you play. You may be in this using this tactic up 1-0 in a match, you push everyone back, and then all hell breaks loose. You never know how things are going to really react until you actually take control of the match itself. Simming is never the best idea, but it kind of gives you, like especially the data hub, it gives you a bit more information about what happens in the tactic, how the tactic is being used, but it doesn't have your special touches on the tactic, which definitely could get you a lot more points than this. Wolves. I mean, extremely shaky defensively, sure, but very good in attack. It doesn't seem to do it justice. You are doing, I mean, almost the best in the league in several categories. You're still missing out on a couple things, but, I mean, attacking-wise, very well done. Newcastle, I mean, still, the non-penalty expected goals per 90 is fantastic. Shots per game, goals per game, not too bad. Some of these numbers, I mean, it looks exactly like the others. A little bit better defensively, quite decent, in fact, but attacking is really where it's at. And when you have 3 players up front attacking straight on, I'm not surprised. And this is where I expect to see the attacking numbers really hit home. Most goals, Wolves 96, Tottenham with 95. Newcastle with 75 is interesting, although they were, I mean, I guess, lower in the league. But fewer shots against Tottenham and Newcastle, so you're keeping it. You're not getting the defensive side. You're not really needing the defensive side a lot, and you're getting the attack on, so they don't have an opportunity to shoot on your net. Most possession, nobody, but most dribbles made, Tottenham, Newcastle, and Wolves. Fewest conceded, Newcastle and Tottenham, there you go. Shutouts, Newcastle. Most tackles won, Newcastle. I mean, Newcastle's picking it up. They are low in the league, so you expect a bit more maybe of a defensive effort from them. Most shots for, Tottenham, Wolves, Newcastle. I'm actually surprised. 7-4-1 is not too far down from 7-6-4 and 7-7-5. So I am a little surprised that they're up there, but the 3, 4, and 5 positions are our 3 teams. And then most points per game, as you would expect. Most goals, Son with only 22, Kane with only 21. That's a little bit shocking. Well, Jimenez is up there. I'm sorry, I didn't see him. 29, so that's fantastic to see. But Son and Kane, I would have thought would be a little higher. Most assists, though, Trippier, Porro, Jimenez. I mean, they're everyone except, tied 4th and 5th right there. That's pretty interesting. Most player of the match awards, Jimenez with 12 and Almiron with 6. 6 kind of your average. Best pass completion, nobody. Most dribbles made, Ait Nori's in there with 169. Fewest conceded, Hugo Lloris, Nick Pope, and Fraser Forster are all in there. It's nice to see when your goalkeepers are actually doing the work. Nick Pope with 11 most shutouts. Most tackles won, Almiron's in there. So again, some defensive work by Newcastle. Paulo Sarabia, Trippier, and Porro with most key passes. I mean, 157. Fantastic number right there. Most shots, of course, Haaland's up there. Mitrovic in there with 116 for Fulham. But Jimenez, Nunez, Richarlison, and Son all in there. Richarlison does not get into these numbers all that much. But, I mean, it seems to be a very fantastic attacking display from these 3 teams. And as we finish, as always, Tottenham's player stats in overall competitions, 36 goals for Son. Kane with 743. That's where you want to see Kane. You don't get, I mean, we haven't seen a lot of Kane up there in the numbers in the highest average rating. It's more like 717, which is good, but you still, this is what I would expect from fantastic job by Tottenham right there. Porro with 29 assists, most player of the match awards, Son with 8. For Wolves, Jimenez with 31 goals, a great number, but Jimenez 770, that's just amazing. That's got to be up there in the tops of the league. Assists with Sarabia, 14 right there, and most player of the match awards, Jimenez with 12. Newcastle, Callum Wilson with 17 goals is not a big number. For him, it actually is, but Isaac's not there. I wonder if he was injured or something. But Almiron with 732 is a fantastic average rating right there for a team. 16 assists for Trippier and 9 player of the match awards for Miguel Almiron. Now, again, these types of tactics where you're pushing a lot of players up or you're throwing a lot of attacking players up front and the wingbacks and everything tend to get you the most goals. It's the way that FM23 seems to work. And we've seen it time and time again. So this is really no different. It is a bit different than your standard 4-3-3. Normally you'd have your players out here on the side, but when you're pushing it up front, it's really doing well. And these, I know these changed shape, but they seem to really do well. So if you're looking to really get the most out of a strong team, push a lot of players up front, get maybe 3 in the back or 4 in the back. And, you know, I mean, that's how it seems to be. But that is the Baianolandia tactic, 4-3-3 triplete. He's again, Fra28 has done very well with this. I'm pretty sure you can too. With our 3 teams, we did. So anyway, that is it for me, Sefian FM, for the Football Manager blog channel, saying thank you as always for watching. Take care and enjoy.